Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. But let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from Brilliant Proud, who says, "Am I the arsehole for predetermining my baby's sex? Sorry if the title isn't great. I had a hard time coming up with something that would make sense. Hopefully it does and it's not misleading. Okay, to start, me, 27 female, and my husband, 28 male, have been married for 4 years. His parents, his mother specifically, and I never had any problems. But we've never quite meshed or seen eye to eye. We've always gone along and been civil. Our future family has been the talk for years. My husband will be the last of his siblings to have children. All of his siblings have at least one. It's been a running joke in the family that if our first happens to be a girl, she won't be accepted because everyone else had a boy for a firstborn. The joke has never sat quite right with me, but I've laughed it off because I don't want to start anything and maybe I'm just being sensitive. Fast forward to a few months ago when we started trying. It took about 3 months for me to get pregnant. We tracked my cycle and had scheduled sex for the best chance. Infertility runs in my family. And my hubby and I agreed on a big family, so I've been worried about starting a family so late in the game. When I did get pregnant, we were overjoyed. We had all the typical couples conversations that come with having a baby. The excitement, names, nursery themes, gender predictions, etc. He talked about wanting a son first so he could be the big strong leader for all his younger siblings and carry on the family name. A very big deal to him instilled by his parents. I expressed my desire to have a little girl I could dress up and match with. It became a playful banter. He'd refer to the baby as son and I would call the baby our daughter. About a week before our gender scan, I searched up the old wives' tales and made us a chart we could fill out together to see who would hypothetically win our little bet. It included the ring test, Chinese horoscope, heartbeats, cravings, etc. The results ended up being about 50-50 in the end, which made us even more excited to find out for certain at our scan. The following week, we went to our appointment and discovered that our baby was a girl. We were both extremely excited. Hubby was disappointed to lose, but told me he was overjoyed to be raising a daughter by my side. That night, we called our families to share the news. After calling his family, his mother asked to speak to him privately. I went to bed alone as their conversation carried on for well over an hour. The following morning, I woke up alone. There was a note on my husband's nightstand explaining that someone would be by the house to pick up his belongings later this evening. I immediately tried to call him, only to realize he had blocked my number. I then tried his mum. His mum picked up on the first ring. Before I had the chance to get a word in, she started chewing me out, calling me a manipulative bitch. I asked her what I had done and she told me I'd ruined her son's reputation with my inexcusable behaviors and tendencies. I let her finish her rant before kindly asking her what the fuck she was talking about. She told me the divorce papers were already written up and I wouldn't have the chance to tear apart the family like I had been intending to do all this time. Again, slightly less kindly this time, asked her what the fuck she was talking about. To which she told me my husband would be leaving me because our child is a girl. I was gobsmacked. I explained to her that it takes two to tango and there was no way to truly decide the gender of a baby. And if her or her son had a problem with the gender, it was his fault as it's his chromosome that determines the gender. But she had proof that I'd handpicked to have a girl. Like I said before, we used a calendar to determine which days would be best for sex. Well, mother-in-law accused me of forcing him to do it, with me on the specific day which the Chinese horoscope would point to girl. She also interrogated me on the sex position we used to conceive the baby, which I gave her a piece of my mind and told her it was none of her business. But she smugly informed me my husband had already told her, and the position we used makes it 60% more likely to have a girl that way. If anyone's currently trying for a girl, specifically doing cowgirl, sometime in the middle of February should do the trick every time apparently. She finished off by telling me that my clear preference for my family name was disgusting and she was glad to finally be rid of me and my manipulative ways before hanging up. I've had no contact with my husband since and it's been over a month. He's blocked me on everything. I I can't help but feel this hasn't all been his choice. But then again, he's a grown-ass adult, so I can't imagine his mother controlling him like that. I've been staying with my sister since it all went down. She says I can stay as long as I need, but I'm thinking I want to get my own place. Maybe even a few states away. What do I do? Should I pack up and move on? Should I continue trying to contact my husband? Any advice would be appreciated. What an absolute crazy mother-in-law. And what is the husband? I'm not saying that OP should do it, that they should confront the husband or try and get in contact with him or anything like that, but I'd really like to know, hear it from his mouth kind of thing, his reasoning behind this, and not just going with mother-in-law's decision on this, because she sounds like she's truly lost her mind. But RL Wolf says, what in the literal hell? I'm so sorry for you, OP. This is absolutely a crazy situation. For a woman to be sexist against a little baby girl is so insane to me. Your husband is for sure being manipulated and controlled by his mother. I'd maybe try to see him in person after he gets off work or something and confront him about what the heck is going on. That way, his mother can't intercept the conversation. It will be a lot harder for him to avoid giving you some answers. Outside of that, maybe talking to his friends and could talk some sense into him. I don't know. He needs to get away from his mother though. Best of luck. Bob says get a lawyer ASAP. They are for sure want to avoid any responsibility over the baby. Do it for your daughter and the respect towards the commitment of deciding to conceive a child as a couple. Asleep in the Attic says all of those things people try to do to attempt to conceive a specific gender for the baby are myths. None of them are true. It's literally impossible for you to have influenced this. The fact that your mother-in-law is holding this against you is wild. Your husband has literally just abandoned you. This is disgusting behavior. I'm so sorry, OP. Hope things turn out better for you at the end of this. Best of luck. A deleted user says, wow, first of all, I'm so sorry. Last thing you need right now is drama. Your husband's family behavior is so strange, it's honestly disturbing and kinda creepy. To me, it sounds like the family's in some sort of strange religion or practice. With all this talk about firstborn needs to be a boy, and then thinking you had any control over the gender. Regardless, it's very unfortunate that you can't get in contact with your husband. I find it strange that he was acting perfectly fine about having a daughter until his mother called. Sounds like his mother is trying to divorce you, not him. Divorce papers cannot be finalized without both parties being present and in court, so it sounds like the mother is making that up to use as leverage. Maybe get a lawyer if things don't settle down. Find out how your husband actually feels, and if it's true and he really is acting like this, well, the garbage took itself out. So then OP gives us their first update a couple of days later, which says, thank you for all the love. It means so much to me right now. I'd also like to add that I've seen a few comments about my story being copied. It breaks my heart to think of anyone else having to go through something similar. My heart goes out to them. Also, I should have mentioned originally that I had a gut feeling to record the call with my mother-in-law, so I have all of that on hand if it's needed in the future. I'm planning on catching my husband on his way out of work sometime next week. I'd like to hear his side of the story. I've decided, however, that if there is any saving our relationship, I'll be changing my last name back to my maiden name, and our daughter will be taking my last name, or at the very least have a hyphenated name. Call me feminist or whatnot, but it will be non-negotiable. I'll also be requiring many boundaries between me and his mother, and she will not be in my child's life until she can find it in her to apologize to me sincerely and change her attitude towards us. OP's second update says, wow, I honestly haven't been on Reddit at all since my last update because, well, growing a human is hard as it is, and then add my crazy life on top of it. But after getting hundreds of emails from Reddit today, I realized it must have been shared somewhere else to be blowing up like this, and now there's so many of you, I figure I owe you all an update. So here it is. Hopefully I can get this all typed out in a way that makes sense. Even though it's been a few weeks since this all went down, I'm still in shock and I haven't been able to collect my thoughts. Let's just blame it on the pregnancy brain and pretend that my life isn't falling apart before my own eyes. I was able to catch my husband as he was leaving work one night and got his side of the story out of him like I had hoped. As suspected, he admitted that he was excited for a baby girl, and after speaking to his mum, she forced him to leave and block me. His mother already had the divorce papers ready to go. I tried to tell him we could fix this. We could raise our daughter together away from his mother. I know I sound fucked in the head and naive for this, but I grew up in a household with a father figure, and I was hopeful my daughter could have a different home life experience than what I had. Not to discredit my mother. She's a badass woman, and I hope I can be half the woman she is for my daughter one day. Anyways, my husband had none of it. He said that he realized how conniving and manipulative and abusive I had been throughout our entire relationship, and he did want to actually go through with a divorce. He said he'd have no problem giving me full custody of the thing that's growing inside of me. That's when I lost hope. Fuck him. I have no problem leaving a man who's so easily brainwashed by his mother like that. I'll raise this baby alone. That's bad enough, but here's the real icing on the cake. I received a phone call from my soon-to-be ex-husband's brother's wife. We've always been quite close, and she's been my saving grace throughout my pregnancy, giving me all the tips for nausea, etc. She has 3 of her own, 2 boys and a girl. Anyways, she informed me over the phone that she overheard a conversation at a weekly Sunday dinner that my mother-in-law and husband are trying to blindside me in court and take full custody. I was livid, full on seeing red. I called mother-in-law straight away and demanded to speak to my husband. All he had to say for himself was that he realized he didn't want any of his offspring to be raised by such a manipulative freak, and even though he doesn't actually want her, he's sure he can grow to love her again. I'm not sure what to do at this point. I know I have a good case for myself, but I'm fucking terrified they'll win the battle and take everything from me. It brings tears to my eyes thinking about my daughter growing up somewhere where she isn't loved. Even if custody is split 50-50, I'll have no control over the lies they're guaranteed to feed her. My emotions are going haywire, trying to write all this out, so I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for all the love and support you all have shown me and my baby girl. The internet can truly be an amazing place. Edit. Adding that my brother-in-law and his wife are planning on leaving the family dynamic after seeing the way I've been treated. They have a daughter of their own, and while she's been accepted as she wasn't the firstborn, they're very uncomfortable with the misogyny within the family. Brother-in-law is the firstborn, and I think the what-ifs are fucking with his head. And then, allegedly, the husband left a comment on that post. Apparently says, "What the fuck is wrong with you, Aspen? I loved you and I loved our daughter. You paint me out to be such a fucking villain, and none of these pea-brain people on the internet can see through them lies. Manipulation at its finest. You were such a fucking bitch, a whole goddamn lie of a relationship. And when we were trying to get pregnant, everything was about you. I can't believe it took me so long to see every single sign. You were so fucking obsessive over your stupid calendar, and we hardly ever used it. You always say you aren't in the mood, or we did it yesterday, I'm too tired, we can skip a day. It was never about me or my feelings, and then when you actually got pregnant, it became even more about you. I'm not eating eggs anymore, they make me sick. I don't want to go to Sunday dinner, I'm not up to it tonight. Let's not get sushi for dinner because it's bad for the baby. I was so fucking nice to you, Aspen. I literally doted on you like a fucking Prince Charming, and you never even recognized me. I can't believe you string me along all those years. F you and F the fetus. I'm sick of your games. I can't effing believe I find out about this post on a podcast my girlfriend listens to. You betray me one effing month until you lose it all like I did. See you in court, bitch." OP then continued to post another small update which says, "Thank you so much for all of your support. I've been in contact with my lawyer about how best to proceed, and for legal reasons I'm not allowed to give any more information at this point in time. But I've seen all your messages and I'm truly grateful for all the advice and care being sent on our way. I have a very good lawyer working with me, and both me and the baby are and will be safe through the coming months. Once again, thank you all so much for your kindness. It's helped me feel somewhat sane through all of this and made me realize that I am entitled to feel the way I'm feeling. You've truly given me a community where people have my back and truly want what's best for me. I'll be logging off until things have settled down and baby is born. Maybe I'll return for a final update at some point, but for now, I'm focusing on my own health and the health of my baby as I prepare for the courtroom." The post then moved into a divorce subreddit which says, "Looking for advice. Looking for some advice from some fellow divorced mums. I'm going through an extremely messy divorce. I'm 28 and almost 35 weeks pregnant with our first baby. I'm not sure if the hormones or just the situation in general, but I'm really anxious about what the future holds for me and this little babe. I've been married to this man for 4 years and known him much longer, and I can't even fathom getting back into the world of dating again, especially as a single mum. I'm not planning on dating anytime soon, but every time I think about it, I get so overwhelmed with anxiety. I'd like to have more kids in the future, a happy, healthy family, but I can't imagine myself getting into another serious relationship, especially having children with someone else after the shit my soon-to-be ex blindsided me with after I got pregnant. I'm going to therapy and working through things, but I just can't stop worrying. I know everything is still fresh and I should just ride it out, but it's so hard to let go of right now. My whole life was ripped away from me and it feels like I had been living a lie. Has anyone else been through this? I could really use some reassurance and advice right now. And then a couple of months later, final update. Hi everyone, I ended up deleting the app for a while, but now that I'm feeling settled again, I figured I owe it all of you to give one final update. First off, I won the court case. It was a long and draining road and I won't go into a ton of detail, privacy and legal reasons, but it was all thanks to Reddit. Someone connected me to a great lawyer and everything worked out exactly the way I needed it to. I owe it to all of you guys. Thank you so much. And second, I gave birth to my sweet baby girl just a few short weeks ago. She is perfect and everything I needed. Babies heal the soul more than you could ever imagine. I couldn't have done it all without my sister cheering me on through everything. There's been lots of messages and questions in my inbox lately, so I'll do my best to answer all that I possibly can. Newborn life. But just know I'm thankful to every single one of you for the endless support. I truly believe this app saved mine and my baby girl's lives. Someone asked OP, can you spill the tea on how your ex-mother-in-law reacted when you won your case? OP said her reaction was pathetic to say the least. Sobbed uncontrollably and called me every insult she could possibly think of as I left. It gave me secondhand embarrassment to say the least. The judge wasn't taking any of her bullshit from the second our case started. Very satisfying to say the least, lol. Someone asks OP, does your husband have 50-50 rights? Do you have full custody? And is he even allowed to visit her at all without being supervised? OP responds saying, I have full custody. He has no rights to her whatsoever. What an absolute wild situation. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below as always if you have a moment of your time. And let's crack on with one more story, which comes from the Today I Messed Up subreddit from Moocow870, who says, Today I messed up by lying to my wife for 13 years. My wife hates orange and lime flavored candies. I love them. Well, love the orange, like the lime. So she passes the orange Starburst to me. She passes the orange and green Skittles to me. She passes the orange and green gummy bears to me. This has been happening for 13 years. What she doesn't know is that the green Haribo gummy bears are actually strawberry. Shortly after we married, for one reason or another, I looked at the back of the Haribo gummy bears package and discovered this. So I haven't said anything for 13 years. Every time we get gummy bears, she gives me the orange and green. Strawberry. I've never said a word. I've enjoyed eating my little lies. Until last night. We had some gummy bears and she opened them and she started to hand me the orange and green ones. But after a few minutes, I saw her looking at the back of the bag. Then I saw her eyes get real big. She turned to me and asked if I've known that the green bears were strawberry. She always thought they were lime. I was honest and nodded my head yes. The look of betrayal was unreal. She asked how long I've known and I was honest. I told her as long as we've been married. She quit giving me the gummy bears she didn't like. She was even eating the orange ones out of spite. I don't think I'll get any more gummy bear discards after this. Time to buy my own. Edit. We don't eat these every day, a few times a year at most. I just don't get the rejects. It's a shared bag. Whenever she grabs a few, she would pick out the orange and green and hand to me. Just like I would give the pineapple to her. Blech. And I'm very glad that you said, you just don't get the rejects at the end there. I was like, what? So you don't get any of the little love hearts with the foamy bits on the back? Oh, they're my favorites. As well as the as well as the little eggs as well. They were great. But if you really want the best Haribo, you got to go with the Tang Fastics. They're the best ones. And I was just skimming through the comments, and the wife actually replies to it and says, the wife here, we even got some Christmas ones that were all green and red for our kids' stocking. And I said, hey, they didn't make the green ones lime in these. They should always do that. He didn't say a word. We have 2 kids and matching tattoos, so I guess we will just have to work through this. And there was one more comment that did make me chuckle from Lightspeed, who says, not the arsehole, get a divorce lawyer now, big red flags, your wife needs to read labels. Think of what she might feed you without reading the label. She might poison you, get out now. / sarcasm. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this story? What is your favorite Haribo? The real questions being asked right here. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, and your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.